I was born ready for a nap.
Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell. I am your co-host Kevin, and of course I have my co-host, the wrestling enthusiast Mark, and with us tonight is the legendary Bob Cook, who has wrestled for WCW, WWE, NWA, amongst all kinds of other promotions. And Bob Cook is responsible or had his hand in creating people like Ric Flair by making him the legend that he is, because these guys can't look strong unless they have somebody damn good in the ring to make them look strong. Mr. Cook, how are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate that accolade. Accolade or accolade? Accolade? I don't know. I appreciate the kind words, even if they're not true. Wish my wife would say that once in a while.
Your background, that is a real wrestling ring. And man, I tell you, you came in heavy making our podcast look, we went from being amateurs to looking like professionals for that ring right there.
Well, I don't see no picture of you, though.
You don't see me?
No. I see a white screen.
Interesting. Well, maybe a blessing that you don't see me.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything that you want to start off with promoting? Anything going on?
Well, March 15th, right here at the Twisted Wrestling Alliance Studios, we got a wrestling show where I'm wrestling. Pablo Marquez and I are teaming up.
Awesome. And by the way, to our audience, I actually have all that information on my Facebook page, and as well, it's on Bob Cook's Facebook page. If you guys want to find me, it is RTDB at Facebook. I'm constantly putting different promotions, wrestling news, and things like that. And speaking of wrestling news, we got a few items here. What's going on, Mark? How are you doing today, my brother?
All right, you?
And I'm doing good. Just been dealing with a bunch of BS today, but this is my favorite part of the day on Tuesday, so I look forward to this. So let's get on with some wrestling news. Asuka, there is a possibility of her return really, really soon. WWE started discussing creative for Asuka's return per Fightful Select. Those plans include a potential tag match. Now, for whatever reason, that potential tag match was scraped, so there's no word of exactly when she's going to be back, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her make a return at the Royal Rumble coming this Saturday. Also, with the wrestling, per the Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez said he heard from fans that AEW is running a buy one, get one free promotion for Grand Slam Australian tickets. That does not look really good for AEW because they have been really pushing this Australian special that they are doing. I really hope that ticket sales and viewership picks up with those guys, because I don't want to lose any promotions anytime soon. More wrestling is better for the fans, and as well as I say, people involved in professional wrestling. And Matt Riddle, he's back in the news. Matt Riddle missed a scheduled booking with Memphis Wrestling on Sunday after attending Nick Hogan's wedding the night before. PW Insider said Riddle informed them he wouldn't be coming the day of the show, with the site's Mike Johnson adding, "I am sure that didn't cause any last-minute rewrite at all, since the taping was built around his appearance in terms of promotion," hence the sarcasm. Matt Riddle's been in the news a lot, and it hasn't been for really good things. I'm not sure what's going on with him.
Well, let me just say this. I wouldn't be here tonight if Hulk Hogan's wedding was tonight and I was invited. I'm sorry.
Hey, I agree. I wouldn't be here either if I was invited to Hulk Hogan's son's wedding. That's
what I meant, his son.
Yep. And then did an update on JD. I can never pronounce his last name. Mcdonagh, JD Mcdonagh. We all seen last night that scary spot with him hitting the back of his head when he dove outside the ring and did a flip. He posted on social media that he appreciate all the fans thinking about him, contacting him. He's going to be out for a while. He broke a couple of ribs, and he has a punctured lung. It is incredible that he got up and finished that match last night. That shows two things: how much he loves professional wrestling, and as well as just how tough this guy is. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
These guys are born and bred that way, though. They're taught, injured or not, you go out there and you perform. I mean, these guys are just diehards.
But it wasn't a miracle, as I've seen some people say. Sorry.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
little Johnny just died of cancer, but God saved him from getting hurt worse. I don't buy it.
And Dragunov, he's been out of action for a while. He's been on TV for a while. In an update, he's actually been training at the WWE Performance Center for the past 2 weeks. The question is, will he show up for the Royal Rumble? And the last thing is Aleister Black. Her Wrestle Talk update has emerged on the possibility of departing AEW star Malachi Black being part of the WWE Royal Rumble 2025 event. With Black Black has left AEW. His contract actually ends on the 31st, which means that, or the 30th, whatever, it's the last day of January. So February 1st, he can be at the Royal Rumble if that's what WWE decided to do with him. They didn't mention anything of a no-compete clause for 90 days. So I guess he's free, clear to go. We'll see if he shows up at the Royal Rumble. Let's get this.
Can I say something?
Sure.
That would be incredibly exciting if it was actually exciting, but it's not.
You know, a Malachi Black plan?
No. Rhea Ripley's got the tattoos covered. We don't need more of those freaks in the business.
No, I kind of assumed he was going to be at Royal Rumble. And I bet you he gets a hell of a pop, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the thing with Malachi Black, though, or Aleister Black, whatever they're going to call him, I like him. But it's more than Bob that doesn't like him. There's a lot of people who have, there's been a lot of things out there about him and his attitude. And some people don't even like him in the ring. So I'm a fan of Aleister. But, I just don't know if WWE is going to book him the way he wants to be booked. I mean, the whole reason.
I like his wife. From a she looks great standpoint, other than that,
Right.
But I'm superficial. Let me make that clear.
I am too. And
if his wife was Piper Niven, I wouldn't have just made the comment that I just made. Hey, like I said, superficial.
Anyway, I don't know if Aleister Black is going to get booked the way he wants to get booked. That's why he left WWE to begin with. Now he left AEW because of the same thing. Maybe he might want to ask himself, why do I have two promotions that don't want to put me in the spot that I'm in? We will see. But let's start this show, Mark.
All right. So, as always, we open Raw with, people coming to the arena or whatnot. So I usually bypass that. We start with Seth Rollins to the ring, talking about the Rumble, who he's going to face when he wins the Rumble. So then we got Gunther coming to the ring. Gunther kind of questions whether Seth has still got it. He says Seth is not the best anymore. Gunther is. He said, please choose me. You'll be on your back looking up at the lights.
Yeah, the thing with Seth is, as my wife said last night, it looked like he raided his wife's closet again with the crazy outfit he has on. But nonetheless, I think he's a decent wrestler. We know he's not running the Royal Rumble, so I'm not sure what's next in store for him. I'm not sure what they're going to even do with him for the for WrestleMania this year.
Well, to be honest, I think it's going to be Logan Paul. Who comes out next? My guess, my guess is he'll be one of the last 4 or 5 guys in the Rumble. Logan Paul will be.
Yeah. What you got, Bob?
I like Logan Paul. So what do you think of that?
I agree with you.
And by the way, I would look better, but I fired my makeup artist just before we came on the air. For some reason, she frowns upon sexual harassment. I just wanted to mention that part. But the costs were gone long before the show started.
At least you had a makeup.
Logan Paul, I do. I like Logan Paul as well. He, for being someone that has been considered somewhat of a part-timer and even a rookie, he is amazing in the ring. He has been able to do some really great things. A Seth Rollins and Logan Paul match at WrestleMania, I am not yet sure how I feel about that.
Okay. He got some dominant level heat last night coming out.
Yeah.
Well, that's because wrestling fans are ignorant and they hate him based on who he is in real life, not who he portrays on TV.
Yeah, but you know what, Bob? It works because.
Well, yeah, but that's the reason they're going extra heat. They don't really hate the character on TV. They hate the man in reality, even though they don't know him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But again,
I hate him because his wife is gorgeous. Superficial, like I said.
It works. He just has that face that you just want to punch. And so WWE is doing the right thing by booking him as a heel because they've tried to make him a face and it failed miserably. So I think being a heel is going to make him a lot of money with WWE, and he's going to make WWE a lot of money as well.
I'd rather steal his bank account, punch him in the face, steal the bank account. Bank account.
Right. So anyways, Gunther changed his mind and says he'd rather face Logan Paul just to wipe the smirk off his face. And Seth kind of agrees. Next we go to a interview with CM Punk. Sami Zayn comes in. Sami informs CM that they're not on the same level. He's main event at WrestleMania and CM Punk hasn't. I thought it was a pretty good singer.
Yeah, Sami Zayn is on the way to be a heel. I just hope that we don't see a reunion of Sami Zayn and KO, or even a Sami Zayn and a KO in another feud. Not because it's not good, because they're both really good and they know each other so well, it makes the match better. It's just we've seen it so many damn times. So just keep KO and Sami Zayn away from one another.
Yep. So then Sammy runs into Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross does this typical mind games with Sammy. He wasn't lying about anything he said, but it was all a head game. And then he runs into walks away pretty much.
Yep. What were your thoughts on this, Bob?
I actually don't remember the segment, but Gunther bores me to death. Does that help?
Yeah, a lot of people say that. A lot of people have been really saying negative things about Gunther with this run as world champion, which is funny because it seems like he was getting decent pops, even though he's supposed to be a heel when he was the international champion. The IC
but at least he doesn't dress like a slob like Sammy and Kevin Owens. Imagine if you never watched wrestling, you're flipping through the channels. Well, now flipping through Netflix, and it came on, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were in there. And people be like, "Hey, that looks like the guy that mows my lawn. Let's tune in and watch this." No.
Yeah.
You have pretty good insight, and you're absolutely right.
No, I'm not saying they're not good. They are. I'm simply saying that Gunther dresses like a professional champion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think a lot of people dog guys that can actually do technical wrestling, and Gunther can. And a lot of people dog that because they get bored quick on it because there's not really high spots.
Yeah, and the thing with KO and Sami Zayn, I mean, how many times, Mark, have we said that these guys look like guys that we would just see working at Home Depot? But I think that's why the fans relate to them.
Hey, why didn't they relate to me? I could have worked at Home Depot. Darn it. Oh, well. Maybe next time.
Let's see. Oh, next we go to the War Raiders versus Dominic and JD. Carlito tries to interfere, doesn't get much with that. JD suffers 2 cracked ribs and a punctured lung, out for 2 months. You know what? It was a damn good match, to be honest. It was a damn good match.
Even though the War Raiders gimmick is as dumb as the day is long, it was a good match.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I hate the whole Vikings thing. I wish they would just let these guys come in as who they are without a gimmick. these guys, the size that they are, the way they move in the ring, they don't need a fucking gimmick. They don't.
I think that's who they are, though. They're into that stuff. Didn't one of them get married in that type of I don't know, that Renaissance, whatever that crap is, the Viking stuff.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly what happened. I just I just don't like it being brought then to WWE because I just think their gimmick's horrible. And honestly, it makes it hard for me to enjoy any match that they're in. I wasn't looking forward to this match, but it was a good match. So,
yeah. Next, we go to Pete Dunne and Kaiser. Really didn't understand the whole concept of this meeting. Then New Day comes in and everybody walks away. Xavier. Oh, then I can't remember who. Oh, they ran into an interviewer, I guess. Xavier to face Ray, dogging Xavier because he's from Atlanta, and they're naming everybody else from Atlanta instead of Xavier Woods.
Yeah, and Xavier mentioned that his parents was going to be out there. I mean, all that was comic relief as far as the parent thing goes. But I think the point of the interaction, it was space filler. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was filler. So next we go to Ray versus Xavier Woods. It was a decent match, I kind of liked how Ray was going to slide between his legs and Xavier just kind of put the stomp down on him and said, "Nope, not happening." That was pretty good foresight, I guess. Then Xavier Woods' family finally showed up, and he was kind of giving the business about why they were late, and they unzipped their shirt and had a shirt on that said "New Day sucks."
Yeah. And then it ultimately ended up costing Xavier Woods the match. And Bob, maybe you can answer this question. This is what I understand. So I don't understand turning the New Day heel, that whole thing with Big E, and them being such. I mean, they had so much heat on them because of that. They were hot. They took them basically off of TV. They waited a while before they started doing anything. They're really still not doing much, except these guys are just still constantly losing. Like, what is the point of making them these hot heels because of this turn and then just doing nothing with them?
I don't know what the point of the New Day was from the beginning, and they've been there a long time, and there's a lot of people waiting in the wings that could get a push that actually deserve it, that are younger, that have a passion, that aren't just there collecting a paycheck. I say fire them. You got all these people under contract.
It's funny, point in the match last night where Xavier was basically almost in a push-up position, and the way he looked maniacal. He looked almost evil. I think these guys can fit the role of heels very well, but you see more jabberjaw than anything in the ring. They haven't done anything, heel like in the ring, really.
No, except just talk shit. And again, you turn these guys heel, and you had like big heat on these guys, and you just let it slip away. I don't get it.
A lot of it has to do with they have a plan in the beginning, and they have no real direction once it starts. Before they even start it, they just go, "Let's turn them heel," and then they go, "Well, now what do we do? We'll find out next week." The next week comes, and they got their other priorities mixed up, and well, this week we'll go in the ring and say this, and then have them do this, and sit in catering for a while. But if the good news is they're old enough, so if they get fired, Tony Khan will jump right on that. He likes the old guys.
Yep, that's true.
And on a side note, Zelina Vega is going to SmackDown.
Yeah. Yep. And so I don't know. They're taking her away from the LWO, sending her to SmackDown. And for what? Are they going to actually use her in a good way? Is she just going to be wasted away? I don't know.
How can you use her in a good way, though? She's great in the ring, but she's so small. She's not believable. She's there because she's there. She's there because she got fired years ago for something silly, and they brought her back kind of to appease any potential lawsuits or negativity said about the company when she wasn't there.
I tell you, what they could do is put her and Andrade back together.
Who?
Andrade?
Well, they'll probably bring her if her husband comes in. They'll just put her with him.
Maybe. Yeah, but you got to look at, while she's small in stature, so is Alexa Bliss, and she was world champion.
Yeah,
Yeah, but still, she wasn't believable either.
She was
She was
champion.
only believable when she talked to the doll. Unbelievably stupid.
All right, so next we go to recap of Drew versus Seth the week before. And then we got Seth and Sammy in the locker room, basically. Sammy trying to explain that the kick from last week was an accident. So they kind of mend fences. Hoo-ha. Next, we go to a preview of CM Punk interview before Royal Rumble. So I guess they got an interview they're going to show of Punk during the Rumble PPL.
Yeah, I am starting to just lose interest in CM Punk.
Again, I don't care to really watch him in the ring, but his promos, I'll turn up the volume every time because you never know what to expect from him.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know. He's someone else that I feel like they're just using to fill space because I mean obviously he's bringing in business and selling merchandise, but he's besides Drew McIntyre, what else has he really done?
Not a whole lot. Well, besides breaking a bone every other week, So, all right. So, anyways, continuing on, Jey Uso to the ring. Huge crowd reaction. May well be on the way to be a world champion. He's hitting that plateau of, the Yes movement, Daniel Bryan and even Kofi Kingston a few years ago, where the crowd's really getting behind him. He might be a world champion in the next year or two.
I would be shocked if that happened. I'd be shocked if WWE put that world title on him. People, yes, he got a pop, right? But you know, I'm on another podcast, or on another social media network, and man, a lot of people are saying, yeah, we're giving him the pop because of his song and because the interactive with the fans. But when it comes to his promos and his wrestling, they're like, we're starting to get bored. We want to see the Usos back. So the question is, though, again, another smaller podcast, which means fewer people. These are actually people in the comments. Um, is that what a lot of those fans think, or is that just a few? But they're saying that the pop is because of his entrance. So I don't know.
I don't know. You got somewhere, Daniel
Yeah.
Bryan entrance was a pop and ended up being a world champion. They pushed Kofi Kingston. He got the pop and they gave him a world champion.
Go back and watch that match between him and Gunther. People started cheering for Gunther during the match. So what are your thoughts on this, Bob?
I've never been an Uso fan. I mean, they were entertaining in the middle of the best part of the bloodline stuff. But in the ring, they can be very lazy. They got horrible punches and kicks where they expose the business every time the bell rings. But a lot of guys have that, so you can't nitpick that unless you want to nitpick everybody.
Right, but
wrestling has always been about who's popular and who's not. And if you're really popular, they'd love to have, like, if a lot of wrestling fans will say Hulk Hogan sucked. Well, guess what? If they had 10 Hulk Hogans, that's what every company wants. Someone who sells merchandise. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how good their matches are. All that matters is they sell, and bring in money.
Right, and you're not the only one, Bob, that has talked about how bad their punches and kicks are. Actually, there's been a lot of rumblings about that as well. But you're right. Not everybody's going to be a Ric Flair that's able to have an incredible looking punch. So, I mean, I don't know. And Mark, I mean, and do you agree with this? Wrestling fans, because of how fucking fickle they are, and because of how much they think they know the business, they're going to find something to just tear somebody apart with.
You know what they say? You can't please everybody, but you can manage to piss everybody off.
That's true.
So, as much as, Hogan sold shit, there was always somebody criticizing him, and when he turned to Hollywood Hogan, people criticized that, there's nothing any one person can do in this business that's going to appease everybody. You're going to piss somebody off. And with the internet, it's going to get out there sooner or later that you piss somebody off. So the only thing I've learned is you can only try to satisfy as many people as you can. Everybody else is just going to be pissed.
Yeah, and with Hogan, we talked about this. I hated babyface Hogan. A heel Hogan, that's when I became a Hogan fan. But a lot of that has to do with the type of wrestling I grew up watching, with the Mid-South wrestling and the Atlantic Championship wrestling, where that was more of your realistic type wrestling, and Hulk Hogan and WWF at that time was more of your cartoon character type wrestling. Otherwise, I probably would have loved Hulk Hogan if that is the type of wrestling that I was used to. But a heel Hogan, he was absolutely money to me.
As a kid, I probably liked Hogan, WrestleMania 1, 2, 3, whatever. But as I got older, he was the one that I made me realize that wrestling was fake. That it was staged fake. So I don't say I hold animosity towards him for that, but there's always a part of me that says, you know what, you ruined it for me.
Well, but wrestling's not fake. It may be. Look, wrestling, yes, there is a known finish, but wrestling is not fake. If wrestling was fake, we wouldn't have JD out right now with broken ribs and with a punctured lung. If wrestling was fake, you wouldn't have people who are constantly getting concussions, breaking bones, getting hurt really bad. Like JR always said, this is professional wrestling. It's not ballet. The match may be known to, it may be a finish that they know how it's going to finish, but everything else in between, again, there's nothing fake about professional wrestling.
I know, I misspoke. Sorry. All right. Let's see.
Well, for the record, I never really lost a match and never really won one, so there's elements of fakery.
Oh, Bob's going to add an element to our show that we haven't had before. All right. Go to an interview with Valkyria. She's going to enter the Royal Rumble. Didn't name who her first opponent's going to be for the Intercontinental Championship. But Chad Gable did, as he walked in. Said Ivy's going to take the belt from her. Or from her for him.
Yeah. I didn't care. I am just something about Valkyria I'm not connecting with. I'm sure other fans are because she does get a decent pop. We'll talk about just myself. I don't connect with her, and I don't connect with Ivory, which is really surprising because Ivory has that look as far as that athlete, right? And she's with Chad Gable, who I love, but these two women I just can't connect with. I'm sure they'll have a decent match, but just not my cup of tea. What about you, Bob or Bart?
I really don't have a whole lot of opinion about them. I haven't seen enough of their stuff, or I haven't paid attention enough, I guess, would probably be the more accurate. When you're watching wrestling or anything nowadays, you tend to go, hey, look, someone texted me. And an hour later, you look up and go, oh, it's still on? Oh, well,
Yeah, especially when it's a 3-hour show.
I had to rewind a few matches last night because of that.
Yeah.
Valkyria, I like her, but yeah, I can see where there's a disconnect. Ivy, I haven't seen enough of her, but I tell you, from what I've seen of her, she means business, and she carries herself like she means business.
Oh yeah, she looks like that. She can cook. She can kick. Your ass or my ass.
Look, I was going to say, fix me up something in the kitchen. She can wrestle, but how's her lasagna? That's what I'm interested in.
Right. Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Cook.
All right. So then they run into Alpha Academy, and Chad Gable does his typical, you're pathetic, stick to your TikTok and whatever else, and walks away. I don't understand what they're doing with Alpha Academy other than making them a butt of a joke.
You know what? And it aggravates me because what's the guy's name? Mark? I can't remember.
The heavy guy? Otis.
Yeah. Huh?
Otis.
Otis, yeah. Man, look, Otis is a big guy, but he could do things in the ring that guys that look like him shouldn't be able to do. And I would consider him a good, solid wrestler, and he is good on the mic, but they keep on making him the butt of the jokes. They've been making him the butt of the jokes even before he's with Alpha Academy. I don't get it. I don't why they don't use him in a better way. In many ways, he reminds me, and Bob, don't eat my ass for saying this, because I know he's not nearly as big as this guy, but because of his body shape and because of how light he is on his feet, considering how heavy he is, he reminds me a lot of Van Vader.
Oh.
He does. Granted, again, he's not as big, but he's a heavy-set guy like Van Vader was, and he's light on his feet like Van Vader was.
Van Vader wasn't light on his feet. Van Vader was a stiff. I could get into Van Vader. He was one of the biggest assholes ever to walk on the planet Earth in the history of the Earth. How old is the Earth? Billions of years old. Imagine that. There's over 8 billion people on the planet now, and he was one of the biggest assholes to ever step foot on the Earth.
I've heard that. Bob,
I have a feeling Otis isn't.
But I've also heard from interviews that I've watched saying that Van Vader was he was stiff with his punches and his kicks, but he could actually move in the ring, unlike any big man could actually move.
Well, those are people who like Vader, not people who actually had to wrestle Vader. He hurt guys every week when I was in WCW, and he was told every week, hey, stop hurting guys. You know what he did? Kept hurting guys. That's not professional wrestling. That's not what it's about. You're giving a guy your body. You're letting him do things to you. You're letting him do things to you, and he took advantage of almost everybody he got in the ring with, not just the losers like me. He took advantage. He hurt Steamboat. He hurt Nikita Koloff. He hurt Sid. He hurt the Steiners. And he hurt my pride for even talking about him now. Why are you bringing up bad memories? Oh, my God. He broke a friend of mine's nose after telling the guy not to worry. Everything will be all right. He got a ring, bell rang, boom, broke his nose. You know what he did when he came back to the dressing room? The guy's laying on the floor with his nose, blood everywhere. He walks in, he goes, you'll be okay.
Wow. Yeah, I can only take your word. Yeah, I can only take your word for it. You've been in the ring with him. Obviously, I haven't.
I never wrestled Vader. No.
Oh,
I never wrestled Vader. I just know people who have. I saw guys look on the sheet. In WCW, they used to have a chalkboard or it's a board mark or whatever. It would have the list of the matches for the TBN. And I legitimately saw guys walk in and go, oh, I got to wrestle Vader. Never saw him again.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I heard he was stiff.
But you got guys like Bam Bam Bigelow, who was just as big as Vader and 100 times better because he was a nice guy and he didn't hurt you at all in the ring. You didn't feel nothing except the bumps you took from a headbutt. If he gave you a headbutt, you felt the bump you took, not the headbutt. That's how wrestling should be. People don't understand that. Gunther.
Yeah. Yep. Mark, what about you? Do you think that they should be using Otis much better and maybe more of a serious wrestler, or do you think that no, he just fits this role that they want him in?
I think they could utilize a little bit better, but I don't know where the ceiling is for him because I don't see him as a world champion at all. I don't see him as an intercontinental champion. So I mean, he's just enhanced talent.
What he is he's probably a lot like he is on TV in real life, and they just let him go with the flow. What he could be, though, ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, weighing in at 395 pounds, your catering champion, Otis. Have another chicken wing. Don't choke on it because you're in the next match.
If they brought back the 24/7 belt, there you go.
You can talk.
Now, let me just say this about the Alpha. Is that called the Alpha Academy?
Yeah.
I don't care about I don't care what they can do in the ring. What I want to know is what Maxine can do outside the ring. Oh, I said it. Go ahead. Edit it off.
You can knock. Rumor is that he dated.
Yeah, that was nothing suggestive. I just said, what can she do outside the ring? She posts a lot of pictures of her working out. That's a good thing.
Rumor has it that he did date Mandy Rose at one time.
Who, Otis?
No,
I don't believe that.
No, that was actually true. Him and Mandy Rose did date. Yep.
If you notice me looking around, it's for a knife, and I'm going to cut my wrist. So bear with me.
I thought you were going to puke.
I don't believe it. Internet gibberish.
Look, it could happen. If Mark seen my wife, Bob, if you've seen how beautiful my wife was, you would be like, what?
Well, I was just going to say, if he dated her, maybe I got a chance. Where's my phone? Oh, wait, I'm using it. Right there. Oh, let me look.
You don't need your phone. All you have to do is sign up with OnlyFans.
Oh, well, she's got enough idiots that'll do that. People need to realize something. Real pornography is free. If you're paying for a fake picture or a picture that's not even naked, you're an idiot. You should be part of the government. You're so stupid. Anyone that buys OnlyFans has to be the. I mean, come on. Porn is free. Not that I know. I've heard rumors. I've heard.
Professional wrestling fans.
So next we go to Liv and Raquel versus Naomi and Bianca.
Because let me just go ahead and clarify, though. Mandy Rose is gorgeous. I wish she'd come back to wrestling. But there are women out there that would do anything and everything for free that look 10 times better than her. Again, I don't know these things from firsthand experience. I'm just telling you people this. Save yourself some money. Send the money to me and I'll buy some more Mountain Dew. That's what I got to say. I want to do my part to help people out. Save some money. Stop paying for porn, idiots.
All right, Mark, go ahead.
All right, so next we got Liv and Raquel versus Naomi and Bianca. Diamond comes out, tries to distract referee. Well, he did distract her. Bianca attacks Dom. Liv pins Naomi. It was a decent match. I'm not gonna say it was a lot faster paced than I anticipated.
Yeah, I tell you what. So Naomi and Bianca, they are on NXT defending the titles, which really fucking confuses me about why would you be defending a title on the main roster against NXT, against Legend and I can't remember the other girl's name. But if I was a betting man, I'd be willing to bet that they're going to drop those titles tonight because Jade is going to come back at Royal Rumble, and I think that she is going to attack both Belair and Naomi. And again, I reference why I think that is. I go back to what Jade posted when right after SmackDown when they were talking about Belair and Naomi saying we haven't found out who attacked Jade. We just can't have no leads. And Jade said, "Are you sure?" So I think that they're going to drop those titles tonight, and we're going to see a feud with Jade, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. And rumors have it, and again, these are just rumors. I cannot find it anywhere to say it's true or not. So people, rumors. But there are rumors that Britt Baker is going to be coming in with Jade. Not at the Royal Rumble, but at some point to help her with this feud.
I don't buy that because I think she's got too much going on with her outside work.
Again, that's why I just said rumors.
She's got a very limited window of opportunity to wrestle, and that's why she went with AEW because they could fit that window of opportunity. I can't see her signing a part-time contract with WWE. I don't see them having enough interest in Britt Baker to sign her, to be honest.
Oh, I think they would, but Britt Baker's also making movies. So, but so between her dental practice, which she's still very involved in, making movies, that's why, I think that's only part of the reason why we haven't seen her at AEW. She's had a falling out from what I have read with Tony Khan with different things, so we'll see. Bob, what do you think about the whole Jade Cargill being attacked? Do you think that it's Belair?
The one thing I could think last night when I was watching that match is, where is Jade? Because I love Jade Cargill. She's hot. And remember what I said about superficial?
So
I don't know. I hope she comes back soon and people don't keep hating on her like they do. Wrestling fans, not the smartest people in the world.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Say what you want to say, then I'll follow up.
I completely forgot what I had to say.
So this is the thing with Jade Cargill. People are hating on her because of her style of wrestling. But then people who wrestle opposite of her are the ones that are kind of the high flyers, risk takers. The fans hate on them too. So, like I said, wrestling fans are just a bunch of fickle assholes that you can't make happy.
She's no different than a Road Warrior in her style, a Nikita Koloff, a Sting. She's no different than them guys, other than the fact that she's a woman.
Yeah.
And a hot one. Did I say that before?
No, you didn't.
Right.
It's always good to reiterate, though.
Jade Cargill is hot.
All right, fair enough. All right, so next we go to an interview with Rhea. Gives props to Nia pretty much on a tough match. Bayley comes in saying that she's a defending Royal Rumble winner last year, and maybe she'll have to face Rhea at WrestleMania. I didn't even see how Rhea left because I must have blinked. But Io Sky comes in and says, "See you Saturday."
So I am 99.9% sure that Bayley is once again on her way to a heel turn, because I think this babyface turn has been extremely disappointing to her and what they WWE thought that they would get. For whatever reason, the fans they're whatever about her. And I remember, Bob, you and I had a conversation about Bayley online or on social media, and you had said that you think that her time has come and gone, that she should be taken off of TV for a while. Is that how you still feel?
I don't remember saying that other than the fact, yeah, who cares? She's been there long enough, 10 years. Get out of the business. No, I'm just kidding. But go somewhere else. That was the good thing about the territories back in the day. You'd have somebody, they'd be there for a few months, and they'd go somewhere else, and then they come back all fresh and new. That's the problem with the wrestling. Every week it's the same people over and over and over, and there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, I agree. I do. Even though I was young, 10, 11, 12 years old, I missed the territories because, I watched Mid-South, and, you would see whoever on there for a few weeks, then they'd be gone for a couple of weeks. And then when I turn on Atlantic Championship Wrestling, I'd see that guy, I'd see that professional there. And even though I had been seeing them for weeks on Mid-South, because they were within the territory, it seemed like they were fresh because they were doing something different. So I completely agree with you about that, Bob. Absolutely.
Reinvigorates you on that character.
But I've never been a huge Bayley fan anyways, because again, I'm superficial. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
The thing with Bayley is, when she debuted on the main roster with the whole hugging Bayley, I hated it because I don't like cheesy wrestling. But the little girls liked it, and they were selling her merch. Then they turned her heel. I think that was a big mistake, turning her heel, because she was still hot as a babyface with the kids. And again, just like John Cena, kids, their parents will buy their merch. So, and I don't think she's ever recovered from that first heel turn, and people just don't care about her anymore, or at least not as a babyface.
She's not believable anyway.
I agree.
I want Charlotte Flair to come back. She should come back at the Royal Rumble. If I was booking the show, wait, never mind.
She'll be back in the Royal Rumble. That's what
I know.
They announced it. And I'm predicting that she's gonna win that Royal Rumble. We'll talk about the Royal Rumble at the end of the recap.
I like Charlotte Flair. Who cares what wrestling fans think? She earned her spot, and she deserves what she's got. Hey, that rhymed. Write that down. Put that on a T-shirt.
Put that in the quote book. All right, so next we go to Michael Cole bragging about his WrestleMania moment, and then Pat McAfee lighting his ass up. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I laughed my ass off. Again, I personally cannot say enough good things about Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, because I was such a huge fan of Bobby Brown Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. And although McAfee and Cole, they're not up to that level, they interact with one another the way Gorilla Monsoon and Heenan interacted together. And I think that they mesh very well together.
But that WrestleMania moment is nothing to brag about, although being at WrestleMania certainly is worth bragging about. However, it was a slap in the face to Jerry the King Lawler, one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots, even though his boots were mostly slip-on. But it was a waste of him. He was at WrestleMania one time in a match, and he put it with Michael Cole. Vince McMahon. Bad idea. They couldn't find anybody better than Michael Cole. Let the King have a match that would have stood out through history.
Look, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mark.
Michael Cole's in better shape now than he was in his WrestleMania.
Very true.
Cut
Yeah,
now.
no, this was not an accident back then that did this to Jerry, the King Lawler, because from my understanding, it was the Memphis territory was one of the last territories that went out, and Vince kind of pissed off about that. And I have no doubt that this man carried a grudge, and this was kind of maybe a fuck you to him. Just my opinion.
I don't think so.
You don't
I don't
think so?
No, I mean the King was with the WWE for decades. I don't think Vince ain't that petty. Like of all the things in his life, he's getting there going, well, what's $500,000 car should I drive today? Which mansion should I lay my head down in today? Hey, wait a minute, let's screw over the King because Memphis was the last territory to go. Nah, he ain't that petty.
But Bob,
I think it was just one of those things. They're sitting there in a meeting one time, and they're like, "Hey, King, you never had a match at Midi. Who do you want to work with?" And King just went, "Shit, I could probably have a good match with Michael Cole." And they went, "Okay, book it."
Maybe, but
something simple like that, you know.
That's not also forget though that Jerry the King Lawler's wife also sued WWE for sexual harassment at one time.
Yeah, but she sexually harassed everybody. Look at her. Look what she did. She cheated on the King. It's in his book. Made me cry because it reminded me of my wife, who I talked to earlier. We get along, but we're not together.
Fair enough.
But it's the same circumstance.
Fair enough.
So next we go to Penta's video, or a video of Penta. He's Royal Rumble bound.
Yeah, there's no surprise.
Ooh.
Penta's great in the ring, but I'm not big on his mic skills, although they have improved. So next we go to Heyman to the ring.
Ship him back to Lucha Underground. I'm just kidding.
Who's got Lucha Underground library now? Anybody know?
I love Lucha Underground. You mean where you can watch it?
Huh?
Yeah.
Where you can watch it. There's an app, at least on my TV. I think it's called Cinema something. I'd have to look it up to let you know for sure. But they have all the seasons on there. And I never seen season 4, but they're all there. And I've been watching them lately. I love Lucha Underground. It was great.
Well, I tell you,
Sexy Star, again, superficial. She was my favorite. Oh.
But Mark,
Sexy Star got banned too, didn't she? For her.
We don't care about those. We don't care about that gibberish. She was great in Lucha Underground. That's all that matters. Tracy Lords got banned from porn because she was only 16 when she started, but we don't care.
All right, fair enough.
So
I heard the rumor. I don't have no proof of that.
The one thing about Lucha Underground that Lucha Underground, I could not stand Chelsea Green. Mark can tell you for a long time, but when I seen that match between her and Penta at Lucha Underground, and I seen how good she actually is in the ring. I started to become a little bit more of a Chelsea Green fan. But this is the thing. I really wish WWE would allow, well, I don't even know if WWE is not allowing her to do more than what the type of stuff she used to do. It could be very well that she realized that she wants to have a longer career, and doing that type of stuff will drastically shorten your career. So, but she's definitely gonna do more than what she has done in the ring. She's really good, actually.
Was she Chelsea Green in Lucha Underground, or was she under a mask? Because I don't remember.
No, she was under a mask.
Okay.
Was she Van Nuys?
I don't know. It was just a video clip of the entire match. I couldn't hear.
Speaking of which, John Morrison's wife, who was on Lucha Underground, who is his wife now, got in really good shape again. I approve. Again, superficial AEW. I know we're not talking about it, but that's what I like to say.
Yeah, she's dropped a lot of weight.
I don't know. She still looks pretty voluptuous.
But she's in better shape than she was.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. So, let's see. Heyman to the ring, talking about Roman Reigns being on the video game cover. Yeehaw, whatever. Not a gamer, so don't care. Not a gamer, don't care.
Are you saying you didn't buy 2K24 when it had Superstar Billy Graham and Young Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race, Terry Funk? Shameful. Where's my gun? I'm going to shoot the screen.
I might have earned that. Anyways, does a little bragging about Roman winning the Royal Rumble. Drew comes out, lets Heyman know that he needs to talk to. Oh, he's the catalyst for the bloodline. and it goes into a full story how he is the catalyst for the bloodline. I thought it
No,
was pretty.
no. Let me stop. You got to say, hold on.
He's a catalyst for heart disease, but I don't know about the bloodline.
You got to say exactly how he said it. He's a daddy for bloodline.
I forgot if he was the daddy or the grandfather. I couldn't remember.
I meant Paul Heyman is a catalyst for heart disease. That's what I meant.
Yeah. That's
and high blood pressure and diabetes and what else? A really expensive coffin because he's a large man.
I don't know, but I'll take his paychecks.
Yep,
well, I would too, but I'd share him with some of the ECW guys he screwed over back in the day. Did I say that out loud? Somebody check my mic.
Yeah.
This was actually a decent promo. And again, I'll repeat myself. I was a fan of Drew McIntyre. I am now because it seems like this heel run, something just kind of snapped in him. And, he's so much better on the mic. He is, I think his ring skill is pretty much the same, but just the way he interacts with the fans now, it seems like it's just better all around. And he's doing really good, in my opinion.
You know what that has to do with? A lot of times it's just finding your groove, finding your comfort zone. You feel more comfortable in the character, and it just comes out on TV, and you go, "Holy crap, this guy's really coming into his own."
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's born around that, good guy, bad guy, anti-hero thing. 1 week you want to cheer him, next week you just want to slap him. So pick a side, dude. Pick a side.
But how can he? Because look, if you want to get to the bare meat of this whole thing, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, for that matter, they're not fucking wrong. They're not wrong.
But at the end of the day, they're only doing what they're told. So how you absorb the context to you, like you say, well, Drew's not doing this, he's not doing that. He's just doing what he's told. How you portray it or how you receive it in your mind is up to you,
And that's what's great about professional wrestling.
Like there's some people that would look at Piper Niven and say, boy, she's fantastic. I look at her and go, she stole Lex Luger's outfit.
Oh, I would never look at Piper Niven again the same.
Remember how Lex used to wear that outfit when he was his entrance gear?
The bottom line for me, at least, is Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, they both had friends that joined forces to help the faction that tried to take them out. I understand why they would be pissed off. So I view it as, they're kind of heels, but at the same time, are they really?
All right.
I like the stuff that happened on Saturday Night's Main Event. I think it was Saturday Night's Main Event, where Kevin Owens was wearing a Cody Sucks Egg shirt, like a playback to the old Dusty Sucks Egg from the legendary, the greatest of all time, Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
The one who gave me the nickname, the Cooker, which is why it says the Cooker and not Bob Cook on the screen, because he gave me that nickname.
And he also wore a shirt, and this is the second time he wore it, that talked about him being the son of...
Yeah, right. Canadian, whatever, son of a Canadian, whatever, like Dusty was the son of a plumber. That was funny. How many people even catch that, though, nowadays? What is he talking about? What's that shirt?
Especially the whole, sucking eggs thing. Guarantee you a lot of the fans were like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's on them because there is more opportunity to learn the history of wrestling now than at any time in history. Back in the territory days, we go back to that. When you found out what something was going on in another territory, you did it through the wrestling magazines. Now you can research it right in front of your fat face. The phone. Not that I like to look at the phone, but, YouTube, all kinds of other resources. WWE Network. Yes, that's what I call it still.
Because when the magazines came out, everything was like fucking 4 weeks behind.
But you didn't. Well, actually, it was months behind.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember
15 minutes after it happened. That's for sure.
Yeah, I remember those magazines because allegedly rumors were Kevin was getting them for free for going to the stores and doing what I had to do. But that's allegedly.
Who?
But I definitely got them every month.
Oh, you're saying you stole them?
No, borrowed them. What's up, Bart?
I just said you stole them.
No, I borrowed them.
You want to know a real story? I've only stolen one thing in my entire life, and I swear to God, I've only stolen. It was a wrestling magazine in 1977 from the Little General store, which is about 30 miles that way from where I am right now. And I hated the fact that I did it because I kept all my magazines in pristine condition. Don't ask me why I did it. I was only like 14 years old. I stole it, and when I got out, I pulled it out. It was all wrinkled, and I was like, "Why did I just buy it? It was only $1."
Because you didn't have a buck.
Well, that's you know what I did is I'll be honest with you. What I did is we used to walk to the store, and you'd look along the way, and there'd be bottles on the side of the road. When you got to the store, you turn them in, get a nickel or a dime, whatever they were. And I didn't have enough, and I was like, down the pants. I always regretted it though, because that was of all the magazines, that was the one that was the most damaged when I was a kid.
And real quick, by the way, I meant to say this at the beginning of the podcast. We lost a wrestling legend this week, Colonel Jabir. He was a legend during the territory days. He was a legend, period. But he was really big during the territory days. So thoughts going out to his family and friends and the wrestling team.
And I am the social media director for the Cauliflower Alley Club. Anyone out there who's listening is not a member of the Cauliflower Alley Club, and that includes you two, because not only wrestlers can join it, fans can join it. And what it is an organization that's been around for 59 years this year that gives back to the wrestling community, people in the business who've fallen on hard times. They actually helped me out over the years when we lost everything in the hurricane and different things. And the point of my story is that Brian Blair is the president of the Cauliflower Alley Club. He's one of my best friends. I'm just doing that because it's like, what do you call that? What do you call that when you're bragging about something? I don't know.
Promoting it.
Well, I don't know. But anyways, the reason I bring it up, though, is Brian had a feud with Derek Draper here in Florida in the early 80s. And Derek Draper was Colonel De Beers before he was Colonel De Beers. And they had awesome matches back in the day. That's why I'm doing that. Putting that over. Not cheap plugs. What do you call that? I don't even know. Help me out here. Google it. What is Bob Cook talking about? Google would come back. Who's Bob Cook?
Yeah, who's Bob Cook? All right. So, anyways, at the close of it, Drew says, "Tell your boy I'm coming after him," basically. And Heyman says, "Yeah, I will." He says, "I'm not talking about Roman. I'm talking about Punk." So their feud's not over, apparently.
No.
Then we go to Drew versus Sammy. Drew dominated this match. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Drew pretty much threw him around like a rag doll.
Yeah, Drew kind of reminds me of Scott Hall when he was Scott Hall in the mid to late 80s before he went on to become Razor Ramon, because he was really jacked up back then. Yeah, great guy, though, by the way.
Yeah, back when he was with AWA.
Most money I ever made for one match was against Scott Hall. I know I like to bring put myself over, but I was just mentioning it.
Actually, I think they could probably pass for relatives.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
So
Big Scott Hall is what I meant back in those days.
Yeah, I remember.
He kind of looked like Magnum PI at the time. He had a mustache. They were trying to make Scott Hall into the Magnum TA of the AWA when he first came in.
Yeah, have a TA after his name or something at one time?
I don't remember that. I think they called him the American Starship Eagle at one time. Even I'm not sure. Different names.
I think they had a T after his name. I don't know what name they were using, but I think they had a T after it. He was sporting that Terry Allen mustache and hairstyle and whatnot. And yeah, they were trying to pass him off as Magnum TA or something.
But he became very good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about good, but he came very rich.
No, he was good. Trust me, I worked with him. He was good. Not to say I know anything, but he was good. You know why he was good? Because he didn't hurt you. Vader!
You don't hold a grudge, do you, Bob?
No, because he didn't hurt me. I just never liked. I got saved from getting beat up by Vader once by Mike Graham. Does that count? I don't know. He probably would have hurt me if it wasn't for Mike.
All right.
That drunken bastard.
All right, yeah. Move Mike Graham was a drunken bastard?
No. Well, I think he was drunk too, but Vader was drunk.
And Mark, to answer your note, there was never any type of TA actor's name. Scott Hall went by American Starship, Coyote, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, Texas Scott, and Diamond Stud.
By the way, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just came up with what I was trying to say. Name dropping. That's it. I said Brian Blair is one of my best friends. B. Brian Blair, the Killer Bees. I name dropped. I'm sorry. Just came.
Since your name drop, you need to get them to come on the podcast, man, or at least ask them, give them information.
I'll see him Saturday because we're doing a thing here in Tampa that we do every few months called the Legends Lunch. We're honoring Wendy Richter and Leilani Kai, legends of WrestleMania. They're both going to be there. Leilani was here at the studio 2 weeks ago for our show. Wow. I love her. She's a great lady. Name drop it again. I did it.
Well, name drop my name. Give them my information. I'd love to have them on.
Well, Brian loves to talk about the Cali for Alley Club because that's his passion. Good. He's the president of the club.
Yeah, you can talk about it all you want.
I'll mention it to him Saturday when I see him.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'll go, Brian, there's this podcast. It's called, I don't remember what the name of it is. Don't go on it. That's what I'll say. Oh, it's right here. It says, okay, I get it. Ring the damn bell. That's it.
That's it.
All right. Drew gets, and somehow immediately breaks up with Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and somehow Cody gets a hula kick. Speculation that Sammy's done it on purpose this time.
I believe he did it on purpose because it's fake and he was told to do it. Oh, part of the plan. Sorry, folks. I didn't mean it. I was just kidding. Santa Claus is real.
Oh man, yeah, that led to the whole promo with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, and man, that was excellent promos between those two. I think that was the best I've enjoyed Raw ending in a long time because, let's not forget that not only was this the Raw after Saturday main event, this was the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. And I had some excitement for me to be excited about the Royal Rumble coming up on Saturday. And Bob, I know you said that you just like to sit and enjoy it. You don't like to predict who's going to win. So I'm going to start with you and ask you two matches, one with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Who would you prefer to win?
Cody. I like Cody Rhodes. I don't always particularly like his promos. Sometimes they're kind of like his delivery isn't right, but last night it was fantastic. And I was never a CM Punk fan until I met him at the Cali for Alley Club reunion a couple years ago when we honored him. You know anything about the Cali for Alley Club? We give out awards every year, a wrestler's award, this award, the women's award, blah, blah, blah. And Punk was the headliner. And after the thing, everybody got to meet him, and I'd never met him before. So I went up and met him, and he knew who I was. Yes, he knew who I was. And so and he was really nice to me. So, hey, I like the guy now.
Yeah.
But that was a great promo last night. So I'm excited for the Rumble because I want Punk to win to go to Mania and wrestle Cody. I think it'd be great just from a build-up standpoint.
Right. And, Cody Rhodes, I agree exactly what you said about I normally don't like a lot of his promos because they're so cheesy. Last night, the reason why I liked it because we seen an angry Cody Rhodes.
Right. It seemed natural. It seemed real.
Exactly. Because I love a heel Cody Rhodes. I don't know if you've ever seen on the.
Can I name drop again?
Sure.
I had Dustin Rhodes' very first match ever, and his second and his third. I just like to throw those things out there.
Hey, like I said, you're a legend, Bob. But Cody Rhodes on the independent scene as a heel was great, and those were the type of promos that he would cut. Those angle promos. That's why I loved it. I agree. CM Punk did a great job. My pick between Cody Rhodes and KO, it's going to be Cody Rhodes that's going to win that. As far as Royal Rumble goes, although everyone says it's John Cena, I disagree. I think it's going to be CM Punk for a couple of reasons. One, because of his age, and the Royal Rumble is one of his dreams that he's never been able to accomplish, which is winning it. And the age plays factor because next year they're going to Saudi Arabia. CM Punk is not going there. There's no way that they're going to make him wait 2 years to win a Royal Rumble, especially knowing that he seems to be prone to getting hurt. So I predict that it's going to be CM Punk. I think to be CM Punk against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I think WWE kind of showed their hand last night when it comes to that. What about you, Mark?
I'm still going with what the rumors are. I still think Cena's going to take it because I think ultimately they're going to have him break Ric Flair's record, which he won't break realistically, but
shameful.
Well, because Flair's got upwards to 21 world titles, not 17.
They shouldn't break it. Anyways, you don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. That's the great thing about it. It's always hating when people say, "Why do you watch wrestling? It's all fake." And they know who's going to win, who's going to lose. But the thing is, you don't. I don't know who's going to win or lose at the end of a movie either. That's why you watch it.
Right.
Yep,
right.
I agree. And Mark, what about Cody Rhodes KO?
You know, I still am a Cody fan. I'm not a fan of Kevin Owens. I guess I'd like to see Kevin win at some point, but not this Saturday.
And one last question: the women's Royal Rumble. Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
I know Bob Charlotte Flair. Yeah,
yeah. I'd rather it be Ronda Rousey, but she just had a kid, so that's going to have to wait till she gets in better shape. Because remember, I'm superficial. I don't want a fat Ronda Rousey. Get in shape, baby. Come on back. We forgive you.
Your nickname for the podcast is going to be the superficial cooker.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just being honest.
Hey, man.
I would rather, here's the reality of me. I would rather be with an incredibly gorgeous woman who hates my guts but supplies me with all the things that a man needs, as opposed to a big, fat, overbearing, pig-faced woman who loves me to death. Sorry. It's a reality.
And everybody, this will probably be
because I like to have sex with the lights on. Who wants to look at that? Not me.
Yeah, this will probably be our last podcast, as you two will be banning us.
Well,
anyway, that will do it for
hey, by the way, that was a plug for any women. Hit me up on Facebook, but you got to be good looking because I'm superficial. I look like crap, but you have to look good. It's a rule.
Oh, man.
That's right. I'd rather be single than be with something like that. I'm telling you.
Anyway, that'll do it for this podcast.
But for the record, my ex-wife will still have sex with me. So, hey, not all bad.
Let's not forget that on February 3rd, I'm going to be having the Royal Hawaiian. She is one of the original gorgeous ladies of wrestling, Glow. That was on in the 80s. She's one of the originals. If Glow sounds familiar to you all who are too young to have remembered to watch that, they made a series on Netflix about Glow. Check it out.
I'm friends with one of the original ladies. She is Sunny from the original Glow. Not the big 300-pound Sunny that's in jail now, but Sunny from Glow. And we honored her at the Cali for Alley Club last year.
Nice. I remember Sunny as well. But yeah, I'm excited to have her on the podcast February 3rd, and I'm going to be dropping it that night after the interview. But Bart, you have anything, my man?
I got nothing.
What about you, Bob?
Well, I'd just like to say that if I said anything that offends anybody, or if I didn't offend you, I'll try harder next time. So take it.
Absolutely. And good news, folks. Bob just said next time, which means he's going to be back with us on Tuesday.
Uh-oh.
But until then, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. I know this doesn't seem like a huge goal, but the first goal that I had was to get 50 subscribers. We're at 51 subscribers. Again, I know, big deal to a lot of people. I like to set goals for myself, and the fact that we've been able to set that first goal means a lot to me. So thank you all to the 51 people who have decided that you're going to stick with this horrible podcast. I really appreciate it.
Can I name drop again?
Absolutely.
Let me just say, from the bottom of my heart, to my late great friend, the legendary Gordon Soley, so long from the Sunshine State. That's what Gordon did every week.
Absolutely. Love Gordon Soley. And Bob, Mark, what do you usually say?
Ring the damn bell.
Ring the damn bell, everybody. Everyone have a great night.